let's talk about artificial intelligence in medicine. It's a topic that promises these incredible miracle cures, but at the same time, it is just buried in hype. We're told that AI is decoding the brain, it's designing new drugs overnight. But what's really happening? In this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise and separate the Silicon Valley dream from the scientific reality. It usually starts with something like this. You see these huge headlines, these massive predictions from major figures in tech. And look, when claims get this bold, it totally captures our imagination. It paints this picture of a future where AI just solves everything. And that sets expectations incredibly high.
So this is the big question, right? Is this massive revolution just around the corner? Or is the reality of actually getting AI into the lab, into the clinic, way, way more complicated? We're going to break down both sides of that coin.
First, let's just live in that dream for a minute. This is the version of the story you see in all the optimistic headlines and the slick venture capital pitch decks. It's the vision of AI as like a magic wand for medicine. I mean, the promises are just so compelling. We're told AI can take drug development from a decades-long slog down to just a few months, that it can unravel the immense complexities of the human brain, that it will fundamentally solve research. It's this vision that promises speed and predictability in a field that has always been defined by just how difficult and slow it is. Okay, so with a dream that big, you have to ask, where is it actually coming true? Because there are areas where AI is delivering genuine, absolutely stunning breakthroughs, like right now. So, to understand one of AI's biggest wins, we've got to talk about protein folding. Think of it like this. A protein is this long, long chain, kind of like a string of beads, and its entire job depends on the incredibly complex way it folds itself up into a unique 3D shape. Getting that shape right is absolutely critical if you want to develop new drugs. And this is where AI had its huge mic drop moment. Seriously, this was a massive deal. Google DeepMind's AlphaFold basically solved this 50-year-old grand challenge in biology. It was a clear, undeniable victory, predicting these super complex structures with an accuracy that was, frankly, unthinkable before. It was a true wow moment for science. And hey, it's not just protein folding. In neuroscience, AI is powering these incredible interfaces that let paralyzed patients control robotic limbs or even type just by thinking. And in research, you've got AI models that can read millions of scientific papers, finding connections that a human might never spot, which actually helped speed up the development of the COVID-19 vaccines. And this isn't just theory, this is happening at real companies. Take a look at this. We're seeing AI-designed drugs moving into human trials. Exscientia was the first one out of the gate with a drug for OCD. Then In Silico Medicine pulled off this incredible double first. They used one AI to find a brand new disease target, and then a second AI to design a drug for it. That's a huge milestone. These are real, tangible steps forward. Okay, so we've seen the dream and the very real wins, and you knew there was a but coming. Medicine presents some uniquely difficult challenges that AI just isn't ready to solve yet. So it's time for a reality check. So why was AI so good at protein folding? Well, because it's a relatively clean problem. Proteins are made from just 20 building blocks, amino acids, and they follow pretty predictable rules. Drug discovery, on the other hand, well, it's inherently messy. Think of it like trying to find the one right key out of a billion possibilities for a lock you've never even seen before, using a map that's incomplete and probably has some mistakes on it. And here's the crucial thing. AI still struggles with the biggest hurdles. Take selecting a biological target. That's not a data problem. It's a detective story. It takes these creative leaps to figure out which of thousands of proteins is the real culprit behind a disease. Or predicting toxicity. I mean, that's trying to guess how a brand new chemical is going to react inside the unbelievably complex system of a human body. These are the steps where most drugs fail. And when that reality doesn't match up with the hype, there are real consequences. This isn't just about being disappointed. It can have a real negative impact on the whole field. Just consider this number for a second. $700 million. That's how much funding a single AI drug discovery startup, In Sitro, has raised. And they're just one of hundreds of companies that have collectively raised billions. The amount of money pouring in is just staggering, and it's all being driven by that Silicon Valley dream. So what's driving all this? It's a really powerful psychological force, FOMO, the fear of missing out. When pharmaceutical executives hear that AI is going to solve all their problems, they start to worry that if they don't invest, and invest heavily, they're going to be left in the dust. And that creates this immense pressure to adopt the technology, sometimes before it's really ready for prime time.
This isn't a new story. The tech industry actually has a term for what happens when the hype collapses. It's called an AI winter. In the past, when AI failed to deliver on these huge, inflated promises, funding and interest just dried up, sometimes for decades. The real fear is that if today's hype bubble bursts, it could set back legitimate, real progress for years to come.
This quote from a computational chemist just captures the skepticism perfectly. It's what so many scientists on the ground are feeling. When they hear deep learning presented as this magical fix-all, it just completely ignores the messy, day-to-day reality of their work. It feels like someone is just waving a magic wand and pretending the hard stuff isn't hard. Okay, so we've got the dream, we've got the reality, the big challenges, and the risks. So where does that leave us? Well, there is a path forward. One that's a lot more balanced, more realistic, and ultimately still very, very optimistic. The next few years are going to be really telling. We should absolutely expect to see the first AI-designed drugs get FDA approval. That's coming. But we're also going to see a bit of a reality check, with companies narrowing their focus to specific diseases where their tech really shines. And for those truly massive challenges, like Alzheimer's, we need to be patient. Those breakthroughs are still a long way off.
And that brings us to the core conclusion here. If there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that AI is not a silver bullet. It is not going to magically solve all of medicine's greatest challenges at once. The true revolution, the real promise, isn't about creating an AI that can do a scientist's job from start to finish. That's just the wrong way to look at this whole thing. The real promise is to augment human intelligence. The goal isn't to replace the scientist. It's to give them the most powerful tool ever added to their toolkit, a tool that can help them see patterns they'd otherwise miss and explore ideas they never would have considered. It's about supercharging human creativity and insight. And that leaves us with a final, much more powerful question. The conversation shouldn't be, will AI replace us? It should be, how can we best combine its incredible computational power with our own human ingenuity? Because that partnership, that hybrid approach, that's what's ultimately going to help us tackle the problems we once thought were completely unsolvable.